Hi everyone and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be creating the Great Outdoors postage themed card. I'm going to be using some products out of the brand new Have Fun and Relax card kit from Gina K Designs. Now, in card making, mistakes do happen. I make my fair share of mistakes when I'm creating a card. Sometimes I can hide them with embellishments, and sometimes I can't. So, today I'm going to show you where my mistakes happen and if I work through it. Now, before I jump into my card, there are a few products I'm going to go through from Gina K Designs that is in this June release. And I usually have a whole huge walkthrough video. I do not have that this time, but I did want to share some of the things I did pick up and what is brand new, starting with these foil mates. Some of them are new designs and some of them were previously released. Next, we have the Inside Edition stamp set. So these are sentiments that go on the inside of your card. Some of those sentiments read, "May all of your hopes and dreams come true and your future be filled with happiness." And another one is, "You are amazing in all that you are and everything you do." So there is quite a variety in here, encouragement and birthday. There are a couple new background stamps. These are clear background stamps. We have the Pin Dot and Tangled Garden background stamp. Next, we'll take a look at the products in the Relax and Have Fun card kit. So there's always a great variety in here from stencils, coordinating dies, and stamp sets. So the first thing I'm showing you here is going to be the stencil in the kit. This is the Happy Hibiscus. Then we have two large stamp sets. One we have Spice of Life and Next Gen. So there's a really great variety in this kit, a little bit of something for everybody. And the stamp set from the kit that I'm going to be using today is the Gray Outdoors, which is a silhouette stamp set, one of my favorites. Has a variety of images like cyclists. We have sentiments. We have kind of like a mountain scene. There's also some golf images, trees, birds, and kind of this, I want to say ocean or lake scene. And then there are the two incentive sets. So these ones are what you can earn when you purchase $75 or more from the Gina K Designs website. You can pick which incentive set you want and keep in mind that there are coordinating dies available that you would need to pick up separately if you qualify. Now let's jump into the card. So I'm going to be using the Master Layouts 14 die set, which is that postage theme that you see at the top, and I die cut it from layering weight white cardstock. I'm going to be using my stamp wheel to do this today. So the stamp wheel has a grip mat on the bottom. So I placed my cardstock down on top of that. And I'm trying to get an idea of what I was going to do. I did go ahead and mask off around all the postage separators there using some masking magic strips. I did that kind of, I don't want to say off camera, but I cut that out of the video because my head was in the video half the time. I wanted to be able to keep those areas white, which is why I have the masking magic strips. But I also wanted to have some separate scenes here. So that is why I'm going to be bringing in Post-it notes to mask off the bottom portions. So here I masked off the bottom half of that, and I'm ink blending the bottom portion of this section using Blue Sky. I originally had started blending using a smaller blending brush, but switched to the larger one as that just felt more comfortable for me. So I blended the Blue Sky about halfway up, and then I'm going to come in from the top with a Butterscotch. Now, for me personally, it's a little hard to blend like going from the sticky mat down onto the cardstock. It seems like the bristles kind of want to stick to that. So I brought in Post-it notes at the top, and that made it a lot easier for me to glide onto the cardstock and get that butterscotch at the top. I do want to make sure I'm also leaving a little bit of a white space in between, kind of like a highlight area. I didn't want the two colors to really mix. Now I brought in one of those landscapes. This is going to be the one that kind of looks like water, like a lake in the background with some rocky shore. And I'm inking that up with a Versafine black ink. And I'm going to stamp that all the way across that front or that top panel there. So it's going over two sections of my postage grid. I'm also going to bring in the fisherman and I'm going to add some birds to the other section. Now, you do want to be careful, maybe condition your stamps before actually placing them down on your cardstock, because if your ink is wet yet from the ink blending, you could potentially kind of rip your cardstock a little bit because the stamps either are brand new and not conditioned, or like I said, your ink is still wet. So do be careful of that. Now I'm going to go through and do some more ink blending on each section. I'm going to kind of skip around, but also talk to you about some things that I was trying out. So it looks like there's nothing masking off this area. I was trying out a piece of acetate for masking because the acetate would stick to that sticky mat. So that's why you're not really seeing anything. But I do have each area blocked off. Now, the acetate, I think I need some tweaking on that technique. It's something I just wanted to share with you if you wanted to give it a try to use a sheet of acetate for masking instead of Post-it notes. But you got to clean it in between and make sure nothing carries over to your other areas. Post-it notes are just really cheap. It's just I don't like going through that many Post-it notes. And you may have seen a head pop in. I did have a little helper with me because it is summer vacation and he wanted to help. So every time I got rid of a Post-it note, he took it and put it in the garbage. So I felt like I was going through a lot of Post-it notes. So in between all of that, I did ink blend each section. So it has the butterscotch at the top and the blue at the bottom of each of those scenes. Then I can start coming in and building up each section in different scenes. Like we have the mountains, we have maybe just a hill. I think there's golfers on this stamp set. So one of them could be a golf course. And you can always adjust it. You don't have to put the full image in your section. You can kind of bring that down a little bit so you have a little bit more room to stamp your images. So here I am adding another fishing person and also somebody riding a bike. Again, I have a little helper that wanted to get an up close look at the images. And each time I'm stamping these images, I am masking them off, like I said, either with maybe some masking magic or these Post-it notes, which are just really cheap. You can get a huge whole pack of them for a very small amount. So either way, however you want to mask off your images. So I did not have a complete plan of how this is going to work. I had a general idea and I was starting to get a little confused with all the Post-it notes and the masking. So I took the masking magic strips off and I'm still going to use the Post-it notes to kind of mask some other areas off for now. I'm starting to bring in some images and sentiments off of the Postcards and More stamp set just to give it that postage feel. Now, I set that off on the side for now to kind of give my mind a break from it all. And I'm stamping a sentiment off of I think this was called the Floral Friendship stamp set. I will have all of my supplies linked down below in the video description, including the new products that I had showed you at the beginning of the video. So I die cut out the sentiment with its coordinating die and I die cut out two more pieces from white cardstock. I added liquid glue to the top of those extra pieces and then placed my sentiment over it. And I can kind of just wiggle this together so it fits together perfectly and has its own dimension without having to use foam squares. Now, as I was playing off screen, I knew that I wanted my sentiment to kind of go in the middle on the left hand side, but needed to add another image into the other side. So I did bring in the other cyclist and then I brought in that tree because I just absolutely love tree images, especially silhouettes. I'm going to use a piece of Kraft cardstock for my front panel, and I added foam tape to the back of my postage grid. Once I remove the backing of that, I can place that on the front of my Kraft cardstock. Again, a little mistake. I think it's a little crooked. I did kind of try and fix that off screen a little bit so it was a little more even. And then I added a liquid glue behind my sentiment and placed that in that middle section. Now I'm in the home stretch, and this is where I messed up. I decided to bring in some images and stamp them by hand using a comfort block. This is off of the Spring Friends stamp set. So the bottom right hand corner turned out, but my first class up in the top did not because I don't have foam tape behind it. And I tried to actually go back over it and fix it. That did not work. I kind of double stamped it a little bit. So, yes, mistakes do happen. And I decided to leave it and not go back and fix it or start over because I put a lot of work into this card. So, I'm just going to give this to somebody that I know is going to truly appreciate it, mistakes and all. So, I hope you found inspiration in this video, mistakes and all. I will have all of my supplies linked down below in the video description and over on my blog. Thank you all so much for joining today.